But now that she won, she thanked him.
We're all very grateful to President Trump.
What will Cheney do next? Will she run for president? Well, she didn't say, but she made one of her goals clear.
I will do whatever it takes to ensure Donald Trump is never again anywhere near the Oval Office.
Now, immediately following her loss, Cheney filed to launch a new organization with the primary goal of keeping former President Trump from regaining the presidency. The group is called The Great Task, which calls for the Republican Party to go back to its roots. For now, in the newsroom, Andrea Martinez, Local 10 News.
Andrea, thank you. And look for live reports from our DC Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy later today in Washington. He'll have the latest on the primary results, Rudy Giuliani's testimony, and the FBI search of Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
Developing right now, the Florida prosecutor who was removed from office by Governor Ron DeSantis because of his positions on several issues, including abortion, is now suing the governor. Hillsborough County State Attorney Andrew Warren is fighting to get his job back, saying the governor violated his First Amendment rights. DeSantis had suspended Warren for signing a national pledge to not prosecute women and doctors for violating state abortion laws. 12:16 right now. Let's get a check of the stocks after market open almost about 3 hours ago, sitting in the red in all of those hours so far. The Dow Jones down less than a percentage point fully, but down 260 points-ish under that 34,000 mark. Now to this story, only on Local 10, a man taken to the ground outside of a bar, and it was all caught on camera.
We're hearing from witnesses who said the suspect had a grenade on him. New today, an arrest after a deadly crash that killed a man and seriously injured a pregnant woman.
Also coming up, the future of space as we count down to NASA making an historic return to the moon.
And rain is on the move again today, about ready to overtake parts of Broward County. The question is will the rest of the week stay on the wet side? We'll take a look at that. Your forecast into the weekend is coming up next.
And we have a look at some more back-to-school pictures. This trio looking ready to tackle the new school year in Miami-Dade.
And here's our own Christina Vasquez's daughter, Mina. I'm Auntie Janice to Mina, so I'm so proud of her, and it is her first day of middle school. She's a really great kid. And check out this adorable preschooler. Oh, he's so happy, just beaming right on his way to class. Oh, you kids look so excited. We love seeing it, so please keep sending in your kids' back-to-school pictures. Just send them to share@local10.com. That a story you'll only see on Local 10. A man tackled outside a bar in Wilton Manors.
Witnesses tell us he carried a grenade into the corner pub and also started telling people inside he had a gun. Local 10's Parker Branton reports from Wilton Manors.
This was a scary situation for people who were just trying to enjoy an afternoon drink. A man walking into a bar, reaching into his pocket, pulling out a grenade and putting it on the counter.
He showed me a grenade and he goes, "Don't be scared." And I said, okay. I said, I'm not scared. It kind of freaked me out a little bit.
A man pulling out what appears to be a grenade in the middle of a bar in Wilton Manors.
I was just thinking, like, stay calm because we have a lot of people in there and, like, this is our community. Do you know what I mean? So I want to keep everybody safe.
Joseph Shakespeare is the bartender working at the corner pub around 4 o'clock in the afternoon Tuesday. His nerves are on edge. He says the man claimed to have guns in his car as well.
As people started to clear the bar, I used certain intentions to just keep his focus on me while everybody cleared out so that we would be the last ones leaving the bar.
Daryl Darling overhears the conversation and steps in to help. The former Marine knew the owner called police, so he was doing everything he could to keep the grenade-wielding man preoccupied.
He was agitated at somebody in the bar, was looking to pick a fight. He had shown me a grenade immediately as I had shown up, and I had seen this grenade. It looked real.
Darling says the two bonded over military and police service. As the conversation goes on, people are sliding out of the bar. The former Marine convincing the man to leave with him to go hang out. As they make it outside,
He could be a threat. We don't know how he's feeling. I don't know what was going on, so I grabbed one hand, another arm around his neck. I swept his leg out and just put my full weight on the back of his body so that he could not get up.
Darling taking the man to the ground and police move in. This was a scary situation for those trying to enjoy a drink on a Tuesday afternoon.
Those people inside that bar glad things did not take a dangerous turn. We are working to find out who that man is that flashed that grenade and what charges he may be facing. We're in Wilton Manors. I'm Parker Branton, Local 10 News.
A fire is under investigation after flames sparked on this 60-foot motor yacht docked at the Lauderdale Yacht Club. You can see firefighters working to put out the small blaze. No injuries were reported. Crews suspect an electrical problem may be to blame.
A whole lot of coke was found off the Florida Keys. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says a large bale of cocaine was located near Almirada on Tuesday. The bale contained 70 pounds of coke that was wrapped in smaller packages and labeled with a sticker that reads 100%. The drugs would have been worth more than $1 million had they made it to the streets.
Let's get a look at the forecast now. 91 degrees. Every time I see those numbers crack into the 90s, it's like, it's a reminder of the time of the year we're in.
Well,
August.
Yes.
Gio, you know, we're only like, I don't know, 60, 65 days away from our first cold front on average.
That's actually not that far.
Yeah, it's really
bad.
not. No, I like that.
There's a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's,
There it is.
You know, it's October 13, I think, is the date where we, on average, have our first cold front come through and we see lows drop back into the 60s. So we're getting there. 92 degrees right now, though. Ooh, it's steamy. These are the hottest days of summer, late July, early to mid-August. 99 degrees is how it feels once you factor in that humidity. Clear skies for the most part at the beach. Very pretty there. Temperatures down. 88 is the number with 93 the heat index. If you want cooler air, you've got to go up here to the north where they have kind of a nor'easter type setup, this offshore low pulling in winds out of the north. Look at the highs today in some of the big cities in the northeast. New York, 78, 79 in Buffalo, Boston, 77. We're on the hot side of these frontal systems, so we go to 93 today, which we're almost already there. The other thing is we set the table again for scattered afternoon thunderstorms. The setup is not unchanged from the past few days. We have low pressure up there in the northeast and upper level winds that are pushing the storms over on our side of the state. On top of that, all the orange, that's high moisture that can produce heavy rain, which we've seen in pockets the past few days. And where these winds collide, the sea breeze and the west wind, that's where your storms will start. So you have the fuel with the moisture. This is the fuse that gets lit and sparks up the thunderstorms in the afternoon. And we've had quite a bit. Over the past several days since the start of the week, 2-3 inches in pockets where you see red. A lot of us have seen about an inch or so, and through today and tomorrow we'll have pockets again, 2, 3, maybe 4 inches in some spots, and in other locations an inch or less. Not everybody's going to see it, but it'll be out there in scattered fashion. Let's get to work on the radar. This little line that's moving through earlier today than it did yesterday, with rain nosing in on Coral Springs and Weston, maybe Hialeah and Medley. Some of these spots in northwest Miami-Dade could get into some too. So Weston, you're looking to your skies and you see what's coming momentarily. Sunrise, Davie, you'll get a taste of that. Parkland and Coral Springs, Deerfield Beach and Boca Raton too. Now the computers today, it's interesting. They have this moving through over the next couple of hours, and then that's kind of the main show, not the big event 3, 4, 5 like we'd seen yesterday. So if this is right, then we won't have as rowdy of weather as we did just yesterday. It turns isolated after about 2 o'clock or so. We were waiting until 2 yesterday. Today, it's already underway. So rain chance today, 50%. Tomorrow's looking to be a little bit wetter. And then by Friday, we just start the transition away from the storm zone on top of us to the west side. And then we carry that into the weekend with drier weather. It starts the process on Friday, but by the weekend, we'll have a lot of sunshine to go around through much of the day. 93 today, 93 tomorrow, low 90s by the weekend. It's hot 90s all the way through the next 7, and lows will be near 80. Janice?
Okay, Luke, sounds good. In the future of space, NASA is a step closer to making a historic return to the moon. The Artemis 1 is set to blast off from Cape Canaveral in less than 2 weeks.
And let's take a live look at it now. The Artemis 1 will be an unmanned test flight and the first in a series of launches before the main mission in 2026. That's when NASA hopes to land a crew on the moon for the first time in more than 50 years. And yesterday, NASA took what it calls the first 4 miles to the moon, rolling out the 322-foot tall mega rocket at the Kennedy Space Center. It was delayed a bit due to some bad weather, but eventually made its way down to the launch pad.
Okay.
Well, ahead for you at noon, the search for a gunman after a young woman is shot and killed.
The 911 calls after the woman drove herself to the hospital to seek help and then crashed into a tree. Plus an arrest after a deadly crash from earlier this month where a man was killed and a pregnant woman lost her baby.
And new today, crime crackdown, the new operation to stop gun smuggling to Haiti and other Caribbean nations.
Coming up on GMA3, the U.S. is facing a teacher shortage crisis. We're talking to the head of one of the country's biggest school districts, trying to fill positions before classes begin. And then our experts are breaking down what you need to know about expired medicine that may be in your cabinets. Plus, GMA3's exclusive deals and steals on essential products for anyone on the go. And then we have the Emmy-nominated star of the hit dramedy White Lotus stopping by. It's all coming up on GMA3.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related photos or video. The power to know weather conditions anywhere. And it's completely free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search
New today, Homeland Security announcing a crackdown on guns.
It follows a recent increase in firearm and ammunition smuggling to Haiti and other areas in the Caribbean. Local 10 News is Cody Weddle is live in Broward with the details. Cody?
Yeah, guys, take a look at this firepower we have on these tables here. These are sniper rifles. We have some other semi-automatic rifles. Over here on this table, we even have an AK-47. And these are the guns that Homeland Security Investigations Office here in Miami say are increasingly flowing into the Caribbean, specifically into Haiti. We just heard from federal officials, from the HSI, also from the Customs and Border Protection and from the Coast Guard. And they're announcing new resources and a new focus on stopping the trafficking of these weapons out of the United States and to Caribbean nations. So how do these weapons get down to Haiti? Well, officials say they're often concealed in other shipments, so they may be buried in a large container with other items. And the authorities here today saying they will beef up inspections and investigations starting today.
So the message we are conveying today is that Homeland Security Investigations and its partners will investigate and seek to prosecute any individuals involved in illegal arms trafficking.
So this is lucrative. These guns can be bought here in the United States for hundreds, thousands of dollars, and then they can be sold overseas for thousands and sometimes even tens of thousands. Homeland Security here does have a number. If you have information about illegal gun trafficking, that number is 866-347-2423. We're reporting this from Doral. I'm Cody Weddle, Local 10 News.
All right, Cody, thank you. Well, a man is facing vehicular homicide charges after a crash in Opelika earlier this month. That crash left one man dead and a pregnant woman seriously injured. In bond court, prosecutors said the man's license had been suspended due to a cocaine possession conviction. The judge gave him a $150,000 bond plus a total lockdown house arrest. 59-year-old Lazaro Fernandez faces 2 counts of vehicular homicide, one for the passenger who was instantly killed and the other because the pregnant woman later gave birth to a stillborn because the placenta had detached. Troopers say Fernandez was speeding west on State Road 9 in a red Ford pickup when he lost control while trying to pass another vehicle, landing airborne in the eastbound lanes and hitting the victim's red Chevrolet Cruze.
Turning now to a crime alert in Broward. That's where authorities are searching for the person who shot a young woman. Deputies say 911 calls started pouring in early Sunday morning after a shooting near North Cypress Road and Copans. At about the same time, the Broward Sheriff's Office says they got 2 shot spotter activations, and moments later they got one more 911 call from the victim herself. 20-year-old Anisha Donjoy was driving herself to Broward Health North after being shot, but she crashed into a tree on the hospital's property.
Okay, how many shots did you hear?
Oh, boom, 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 boom. There were shots fired outside my house.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I'm sitting at home, and there was a volley of gunshots on Copans and Leisure Boulevard.
John Joy was pronounced dead. Police spent hours on the scene looking for evidence, trying to figure out who pulled the trigger. If you know anything that could help catch her killer, call the Broward Sheriff's Office. Police responded to a shooting last night in Miami Gardens. A man was found along Northwest 2nd Avenue suffering from a gunshot wound before fire rescue airlifted him to a hospital. At this time, we have no information on the suspect. This investigation is ongoing.
Only on Local 10, a multi-million-dollar truck heist is under investigation. Police say $11 million worth of cell phones were stolen from a truck heading to Miami. And this happened August 14th when the driver stopped at a rest stop in Tampa. The cab was later recovered in Hallandale Beach, but the trailer was nowhere to be found. The company, PCS Wireless, is now offering a $100,000 reward for information that leads to their devices and the suspect. Now to a crime alert. Medley police are looking for a vehicle and 2 suspects involved in a laptop robbery over the weekend. You can take a look at your screen here. Police say the suspects fled the scene in this black Hyundai Elantra after posing as buyers for an online laptop deal. Police are asking for your help in finding this suspect, who was last seen in black shorts and a blue hoodie. Also, the second suspect, last seen in dark pants and a brown hoodie. If you have any information, give police a call.
American Airlines trying to make flights faster.
Details on the airline's purchase of supersonic jets. That's coming up.
And Target struggling even more as the retailer's profits plunge.
Coming up later as well, some monkey business after the animal manages to call 911. And let's take a look at some more first day of school photos. Here's Destiny posing with a peace sign before she starts 6th grade.
And little Emily is heading to pre-K for the first time. Plus, Aria is looking ready for her first day of 2nd grade. Way to go, guys. You can send in your kids' back to school pictures today. Just send them to share@local10.com.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related photos or video. The power to know weather conditions anywhere. And it's completely free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search
Welcome back in. American Airlines betting supersonic jets will make a comeback. The company has put down a deposit for up to 20 supersonic jets with the option to buy 20 more. Boom is developing a jet called the Overture, which will carry up to 80 passengers at nearly twice the speed of today's commercial aircraft. That means you'd be able to fly from Miami to London in less than 5 hours. The fleet of jets are slated for 2025, but the first passenger flight isn't expected until 2029.
Some bad news for Target. The company's profits dropped 90% during its second quarter. This is the second consecutive down quarter for Target. The company did cut prices like other retailers due to inflation, but the cuts didn't seem to have much of an effect on buyers. Target says it ended the quarter with 1.5% more inventory than it had 3 months ago. Apple has let go of about 100 recruiter contractors in the past week. The recruiters were responsible for hiring new employees at the company. Those close to the situation say they were told the layoffs reflect changes to Apple's business needs. Apple isn't the only company making cuts to deal with inflation. Microsoft, Amazon, and Tesla have all slowed hiring in recent months. It is the first day back to school for Miami-Dade County students.
We'll have complete coverage for you throughout the day on students returning to the classroom.
And we're also staying on top of the officer fighting for his life after being shot in Miami.
Plus the latest after a deadly hit-and-run crash on the turnpike today that killed a child. Firefighters in eastern Spain grappled with fires last night as residents were evacuated from the area by bus. Firefighters had to call in for reinforcements after they were forced to retreat from those aggressive flames. Around 615,000 acres have already been burned in Spain this year due to wildfires. That's nearly 4 times the country's average per year. Happening now, opening statements underway in the federal trial for singer R. Kelly. He's accused of enticing minors for sex, child pornography, and obstructing his 2008 trial. Kelly is serving 30 years on a 30-year sentence on state charges in New York for racketeering and sex trafficking.
Right now, a 12-year-old Little League World Series player from Utah is in critical condition following a serious accident. The child's family says he fell 6 feet off a bunk bed Sunday night while staying with his team in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series. Easton, who is the Snow Cannon team's left fielder, was rushed to a hospital with a skull fracture. He is undergoing surgery to reduce swelling on his brain, but his family says he is communicating. The coaches say they want the young ball players to carry on and go all the way while the Little Leaguer recovers from his fall.
He made it a point to say, we want you guys to focus on the baseball part and not worry too much about Easton when we're doing that. But yeah, to continue on why we're here and keep the baseball going. Talked about that with the kids, about bending and not breaking. Resiliency is one word to describe these guys.
Well, the team plays on Friday and will practice every day until then. While they cheer on Easton in his recovery, Easton and his family will cheer them on right back.
Well, it's not something you hear every day, but some 911 operators in California got an unexpected and wild call from a mischievous monkey. This 10-month-old Capuchin monkey named Root accidentally dialed 911 after messing around with a company phone at the Wildlife Conservation Home in Paso Robles. The call leading operators to send police. Thankfully, no bad scene there, just Root monkeying around.
A lot of times it'll be kids, it'll be somebody who basically pocket dials. The deputies were just flabbergasted because it's just like, how can you be mad at a little monkey?
Deputies say if you notice you've made an accidental 911 call, just stay on the line, let them know it was a mistake. Important to know there.
I don't know. Monkeys, to me, they're always up to something sneaky. You know what I mean? Look at him. I mean, I get it. He's kind of cute, but...
Slightly untrustworthy, you say? Well, ahead for you at noon. The Miami Dolphins head coach talking about Tua.
What he's saying about the quarterback playing in the next preseason game coming up.
Plus, Mariah Carey targeted by thieves, the break-in at her home near Atlanta.
Like us, LOL. You're going to love us. Follow Local 10 News on Facebook. You'll get the hottest videos going viral, the top stories making headlines, up-to-the-minute weather updates, and breaking news as it's happening. So go to Facebook, click like on Local 10 News, and show your love.
Right now, Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel trying to find the right balance with his starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua practiced against the Bucs last week, but McDaniel was pleased with his progress and didn't play Tua in that first preseason game. As for preseason game number 2, this Saturday night at Hard Rock Stadium against the Raiders, McDaniel says he still hasn't made up his mind if Tua will make an appearance on the field.
When I see exactly where we're at, and it doesn't necessarily mean if he has a good week of practice that I'm good. It's more where the whole offense is at, what he needs on the field, but also other players that have to play, and does that necessitate him playing?
Now to the diamond, the Marlins trying to snap a streak of 16 straight games without scoring more than 3 runs. That's a long time. Tied at 3 in the 7th against the Padres, and folks, it finally happened. It finally did. Peyton Burdrick with the RBI double, putting the Fish up 4-3. San Diego with the tying run at second in the top of the 8th, and then watch this throw by Brian Anderson. All right, so he's got it, waiting under it, sizes it up, and then he is going to throw a rope to third and gets him out. Fish hold on to win 4-3, have back-to-back victories. Just had to savor that a little bit for the first time in more than a month.
A month. All right, in your pop topics, a break-in at Mariah Carey's home in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. Police are now investigating after they say the pop star is the latest to fall victim to a string of home burglaries in the Sandy Springs area. Officials have already arrested 4 suspected gang members last month in connection to more than a dozen home invasions of celebrities in the past year. Now to some new drama for Kanye West. He's being called out for his new Yeezy Gap collection being sold out of trash bags. So the images have gone viral online, showing bunched up piles of his clothing stuffed into giant black bags. This is the store display the rapper chose for the collection. He said no hangers allowed. The internet is slamming Kanye for it. Some fans saying that looking for their size in those piles feels more like dumpster diving. No word on whether the rapper plans to make a change following the negative feedback. Melissa Etheridge is starring in a new theatrical solo show. It's called My Window, A Journey Through Life. The Grammy and Academy Award-winning artist will take to the stage to tell stories of her childhood in Kansas and her career. Etheridge was one of the most popular musicians of the 1990s with a string of hits, including I'm the Only One, Come to My Window, and I Want to Come Over. The show starts October 13th for a 3-week run. Ahead at noon, a Missouri man on quite the mission.
His journey across the longest and most dangerous river in the U.S. coming up.
Taking a live look out of our Mount Sinai Medical Center Tower cam, where it is a gorgeous day right now, but we gotta watch the radar because Luke says rain will be coming this afternoon. We'll have much more when we come back.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related photos or video. The power to know weather conditions anywhere. And it's completely free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search
A man is paddling across the Missouri River for a unique feat.
Steve Snell paddling down the longest and dangerous river in the U.S. to document the scenery through video and paintings. The art teacher says the Kansas City Art Institute offered him a teaching sabbatical to do just that, and he just couldn't turn down what's a one-of-a-kind opportunity.
It's been just a gift that I was able to do it at this time in my life. I could step away from work for a little while, and my wife has been very supportive in allowing me to do this, especially with a 2.5-year-old at home.
That's impressive right there, the patience of the wife. Snell hopes to not only inspire others with his adventure, but to also show everyone how the river should be appreciated. He also plans to stage a show featuring the photos and videos he's taken during his journey.
How'd this guy convince his wife to do that?
That's what I want to know. That's
Look,
a good follow-up.
I tried to go to Bass Pro Shop last weekend. It couldn't happen. We need your help around the house, Lou.
To be fair, though, you've got newborn twins. to be fair,
That's a small copy.
I'm on Mrs. Doris's side here.
Yeah, okay. All right, checkmate. You win. I just want to go to the Bass Pro Shop. All right, let's see what's happening through our camera right now in Brickell, and sunshine, 92, 93. It is steamy already today. That's going to be about our high temperature clouds and a few showers starting to fill in. Let me show you what's happening up here in northern Broward. So, going through Coral Springs, Parkland, Deerfield Beach, you've had a little bit. It kind of fell apart there by Weston. So we'll say scattered or isolated showers today. I don't think it's as widespread and rambunctious as it was yesterday, but afternoon storms back again tomorrow before we turn drier Friday and your weekend. Gio and Janice.
All right, Luke, thank you. Well, that does it for now. We thank you so much for watching. GMA3, what you need to know is coming your way next.
And we'll see you right back here starting at 3. But remember, you can get the latest news all day long. Just check out our website, local10.com.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related photos or video. The power to know weather conditions anywhere. And it's completely free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search
But first at 3, a tractor trailer on its side in northwest Miami-Dade. We're going to help you get around this major traffic alert.
And more rain could be on the way for parts of South Florida. Your weather authority is here with the forecast.
A Miami-Dade college campus locked down. We're live with a false alarm that caused a school scare.
We're learning more about the officer who was shot in Miami. New details coming in about a second suspect connected to the scene.
Plus, it's back to school in Miami-Dade now. How the first day of the year went there.
It's 3 o'clock. The Local 10 News Firstcast starts right now.
I'm Christy Kruger.
And I'm Janice Fernandez. Let's get right to your top story at 3, and it is a major traffic alert for you. Turnpike northbound, right at Northwest 106th Street. That is where a tractor trailer has ended up on its side, and it has shut down the northbound lanes of the Turnpike. So the Turnpike northbound between Northwest 74th Street to Okeechobee Road is closed, and it's been that way for about 2 hours. It's also causing some onlooker delays as you're heading southbound. But as you can see live from our traffic camera, that truck is still on its side, and all lanes are still blocked off. We do understand 2 people were injured, and crews are on the scene right now cleaning up a fuel spill that was caused by that turnover. As we zoom on into our maps, we can get a better look at those delays. Again, as you're heading northbound on the Turnpike, it is shut down between 74th Street and US 27. If you're heading southbound, you will experience some delays, those onlooker delays with speeds there at 10 miles per hour. Zooming on out, I want to give you an idea just how far those delays stretch. You're looking at delays stretching for about 6 miles. So definitely take your alternate, the Palmetto Expressway or Chrome, looking like much better options.
All right, thanks for that. We'll talk to you in a bit. And we are also dealing with rain this afternoon. This is how it looked outside of our studios right here in Pembroke Park within the past hour. And right now, let's look at the radar. Or actually, we'll first look at Miami Tower Cam and see how it's looking out there. It's cloudy out there and some rain in spots around South Florida. Let's get right over to Luke Doris and see how things are shaping up out there.
Well, I think burying the lead here a little bit. You heard me just a minute ago, Christy, and I said, whoa, look at that. We're at 96 degrees. New record for the day. Hot, hot, hot. Partially because, yes, we have some rain, but it's much more patchy today than it was yesterday where we had this widespread line that was getting going by now, bringing some clouds and some cooling rain. We didn't get as much of that today, so yikes, it is steamy. 3 areas that are getting a little bit of rain right now. One just pushed offshore from Hollywood, from Aventura, from the south side of Fort Lauderdale, moving away there. Here's number 2. This is down off of Homestead in the extreme upper Keys. Little thunderstorm that's not impacting many people, and then this little one that's down here by No Name Key. That's it, all right? So there's a few showers, but again, this is not the big widespread event that we had yesterday. So evening commute home is going to be a little bit nicer today. So rain chances dropping as we head into the evening. Let's talk tropics. I'll give you the update. The Hurricane Center now bumped the odds here just a little bit to 30% that this disturbance that's currently over, about Belize, about to pass over Belize, leaving Honduras. This is going to get into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico later on this week and into this week and have a small window where it may try to develop into a depression there near Texas. It's not a threat to us, all right? Is this going to head our way? No. We have high pressure that's going to block it, so it's a rainmaker if it forms as it moves towards southwest Texas. Guys?
All right, thanks so much. We'll talk to you a bit later. Turning right now to a school scare, a Miami-Dade college campus on lockdown after reports of an armed man.
It turns out it was a false alarm. This is what a witness saw, leading them to call 911. Local 10's Ian Margol joins us live from Southwest Miami-Dade with all the details. Ian.
Yeah, the good news, this was a false alarm. The person that called 911 thought they saw a rifle sticking out of a man's backpack. Fortunately, it ended up being an umbrella. However, authorities are still happy this was called in.
This is a new day. These situations have to be taken seriously. Anybody who has a responsibility of protecting children and students has to take this seriously.
A major law enforcement response on Wednesday at Miami-Dade College's Kendall campus after someone spotted a man riding his bike nearby with what they thought was a rifle sticking out of his backpack.
Our priority response team quickly was activated and responded to the scene and came to the school.
Sky 10 over the scene as officers were all over, sweeping the campus and the surrounding area.
The police officers ran inside and they told us to get inside. We were going on to lockdown and then we couldn't find a classroom that was open, so we came outside and basically we've just been standing here waiting.
About 30 minutes after the initial 911 call, officers found the man a few blocks away and detained him. Fortunately, what they found in his military-style backpack wasn't a rifle, it was an umbrella. But in this picture given to us by police, you can see why the caller mistook it for something more sinister. And both the cops and the school are happy it was called in.
I don't want to call it a drill because this was actually a rapid response. There were armed officials who went throughout the campus and swept all the area, so this was not a drill, but it was a good exercise with a good outcome that makes us feel confident about the upcoming school year.
So classes here at Miami-Dade College don't start until Monday, and the school said that actually helped with the response. There were fewer people inside. They all got to shelter in place very, very quickly. Things all back to normal here at the school. Live in Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Ian Margol, Local 10 News.
And Ian, was that man a student at the school?
No, the school says he was unaffiliated with the school in any way. He had nothing to do with it. He was detained briefly but was released, and police say he was cooperative the entire time.
Good to hear, Ian. All right, thank you.
And also right now, Miami-Dade police officer remaining in the hospital fighting for his life after he was shot in Miami. This as we learn a second suspect was killed at a motel in Miami Springs connected to that police shooting.
Local 10's Annalise Garcia joins us outside Jackson Memorial Hospital where that officer remains in critical condition.
And that detective has been here in critical condition for 2 days now. We're now learning more about the two suspects involved in the robbery that started this entire thing and what it took to take them down.
A Miami-Dade police detective holding on, fighting for his life after being critically injured after a shootout in Liberty City Monday evening. This cell phone video shows his fellow officers carrying their brother in blue into an unmarked police vehicle before rushing him to Jackson Memorial Hospital themselves. He's now in critical condition. Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez identified the wounded detective as 29-year-old Cesar Echaverri, better known by loved ones as Echi. He and a special team of robbery detectives attempted to pull over the suspect vehicle involved in an armed robbery that happened at this Dania Beach convenience store Monday afternoon. Our cameras rolling as that white sedan fled from police and crashed into another car just a few blocks away. See the man exit the car and run away from officers who follow.
During the foot chase, there was a confrontation where shots were fired. Horton was deceased on the scene, and Echi suffered a severe gunshot wound.
Sources close to Local 10 say one of the two subjects was carrying a .40 caliber handgun and that he fired several shots. 32-year-old Jeremy Horton was shot and killed at the scene. The second suspect was located Tuesday afternoon at the Extended Stay America in Miami Springs. Police carried out a search warrant to take him into custody. Sources say he had an AK-47.
As a result of the confrontation, shots were fired. The subject's deceased.
A source also telling Local 10 that there were children and a woman in the room with the subject, but fortunately they are okay.
And the Florida Department of Law Enforcement continues their investigation. As for this detective, he is fighting. The law enforcement community is asking for prayers. In Miami, Annalise Garcia, Local 10 News.
All right, Annalise, thank you. Sky 10 over the scene of a crash earlier today. It left a child dead and 2 others seriously injured. This one happened in the northbound lanes of the Turnpike right near Griffin Road. Authorities say a black Volkswagen was stopped on the inside travel lane with no lights on when a blue Mercedes just went right into it. And this caused the VW to spin out and strike a guardrail. The driver of the Mercedes reportedly left the scene carrying a baby. A little girl who was in the back of the VW died on the scene. If you have any information at all, you are urged to call police.
Miami-Dade students are back in the classroom today. Was their first day of school.
And just like in Broward County, there are some changes this year. Local 10's Hatzel Villa joining us with how everything looked today for them. Hatzel.
He says so far so good, and we asked him what's different about the upcoming year. He says this year it's all about stability.
Okay, have your pencils ready? Show me your pencil.
Welcome to the home of the Dolphins. This is Comstock Elementary in Miami's Alapata neighborhood.
Okay, if you have your name, show me a thumbs up.
This is Miss Quintana's 3rd grade reading class made up of English language learners, many of them recent arrivals to our country.
Yo también tuve que aprender inglés cuando vine a este país.
Superintendent Jose Dotres tells them he too had to learn English when he came to this country. This was one of several stops for Dotres on the first day of school for the country's 4th largest school district.
It's been uplifting, it's been motivating.
The superintendent says this is the first year where they'll have stability with teaching and learning now that the pandemic is not a major factor in our lives. But it has left behind the scars, what's often referred to as pandemic-related loss. He says the district has a lot of work to do.
We've shown a lot of recovery in the academic progress. However, we have to pay attention to proficiency levels. And some of the students, we still have to accelerate learning to catch them up.
Early this morning, Dotres started his day at Hialeah Gardens High School, where we saw a lot of energy. And he will end his day at the Bus Transportation Center in West Miami-Dade. It is at that transportation center where we will be able to catch up with the superintendent and get some numbers on enrollment and teacher vacancies. All that information we'll have for you later on. But for now, reporting from Miami, I'm Hatzel Villa, Local 10 News.
Rudy Giuliani arriving in court today to testify before a Georgia grand jury investigating attempts by former President Trump to overturn his 2020 election defeat. It comes ahead of a hearing tomorrow on unsealing the search warrant affidavit from Trump's Mar-a-Lago home.
We will not talk about this until it's over.
Rudy Giuliani arriving in court before appearing behind closed doors for grand jury testimony in the investigation of potential criminal interference in Georgia's 2020 election.
They ask the questions and we'll see.
The former lawyer of then President Trump was told by prosecutors in Fulton County that he is considered a target in the probe. Among the issues investigators are looking into, hearings in front of Georgia lawmakers where Giuliani and others pushed now disproven claims of election fraud. The investigation now zeroing in on Trump's inner circle. Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton predicting Giuliani may be the first of many in Trump's circle to face a criminal probe.
I think it's going to happen to other people, but it tells me that President Trump may be right behind him in terms of liability.
It comes as we await a judge's decision on whether or not to unseal the affidavit used to secure the search warrant into Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. That document lays out why prosecutors felt the need to take the unprecedented step of searching the home of a former president. But the Justice Department is strongly advising against unsealing the affidavit, seeking to keep secret certain details prosecutors say would otherwise reveal highly sensitive information about witnesses. We're also learning the FBI has interviewed former White House counsel Pat Cipollone and his former deputy about those stored documents at Mar-a-Lago. They're the most senior former administration officials interviewed in this fast-moving investigation. Now, the hearing on whether or not to unseal the affidavit is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon.
There's so much more at stake here than my job. Ron DeSantis is hoping to get away with overturning a fair election, throwing out the votes of hundreds of thousands of Floridians. By challenging this illegal abuse of power, we can make sure that no governor can toss out the results of an election because he doesn't like the outcome.
And that's from your top stories today. This Florida state attorney suing Governor Ron DeSantis for suspending him. Andrew Warren was suspended earlier this month after he pledged to not prosecute patients or providers of abortions. Governor DeSantis claims Warren is incompetent and neglected his official duties, but Warren says he was targeted for opposing what he calls an unconstitutional law.
Also in your top story, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky has announced plans to reform the health agency. She acknowledged shortcomings during COVID-19 response and says the new plan calls for action-oriented accountability, collaboration, communication, and timeliness. Dr. Walensky also mentioned that the CDC will likely be getting rid of confusing guidance documents and is determined to get data and science published faster. The results are in for critical primary races in Wyoming and Alaska.
It was a crushing defeat for Liz Cheney at the hands of her Trump-backed opponent, Harriet Hagman. Local 10's Andrea Martinez reporting now from our newsroom.
Standing up against Trump may have cost Liz Cheney, her Trump-backed opponent, Harriet Hagman, defeating her by more than 37 points. But she says she vows to continue the fight against the former president.
Liz Cheney conceding she lost Tuesday night.
Tonight, Harriet Hagman has received the most votes in this primary. She won. I called her to concede the race. This primary election is over, but now the real work begins.
Cheney's landslide loss, no surprise. She knew she'd pay a price for voting to impeach Donald Trump and in serving as the vice chair of the January 6th committee. And after all, Wyoming is the state Trump won by his biggest margin.
No House seat, no office in this land is more important than the principles that we are all sworn to protect. And I well understood the potential political consequences of abiding by my duty.
Her victor, Harriet Hagman, who became the frontrunner the minute Donald Trump endorsed her. She once criticized Trump, but now that she won, she thanked him.
We're all very grateful to President Trump.
What will Cheney do next? Will she run for president? Well, she didn't say, but she made one of her goals clear.
I will do whatever it takes to ensure Donald Trump is never again anywhere near the Oval Office.
Immediately following her loss, Cheney filed to launch a new organization with the primary goal of keeping former President Trump from regaining the presidency. The group is called The Great Task, which calls for the Republican Party to go back to its roots. In the newsroom, Andrea Martinez, Local 10 News.
All right, Andrea, thank you. Here's a look at the numbers right now on Wall Street. And right now the Dow is down not quite 200 points and standing now under that 34,000 mark at 33,976.
It's a busy day today. We're working on so much for you.
Let's fast forward to what you'll see starting on the Local 10 News right here at 3:30.
A significant uptick in the amount of high-caliber weapons being illegally trafficked to Haiti. I'm Cody Weddle in Doral, how the Homeland Security Administration plans to crack down on this growing trend.
A scare inside a bar. You won't believe what a man pulled out of his pocket. It's a story you'll only see on Local 10.
And then still ahead, the future of space. We're counting down to NASA's historic return to the moon. That's right after the break.
And the headline lately has been the afternoon storms. Today, though, it's shifting to the heat. 96 degrees right now in Miami. How's it look through the rest of our week? Your weekend, it's in sight, too. Your forecast on the other side of the break.
You're watching Christy Kruger and Janice Fernandez on the one and only Local 10 News. Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming for...
And it's time to talk about the heat. Look how it looks outside right now. I know we have some storms, but lots of blue sky as well. But really, the story of the day is the word, or 96, the number 96.
Yeah, that's steamy.
Yeah.
That's a hot firecracker.
It is.
Right.
I was out on a shoot this morning, and I mean, just, I was just pouring. It was the sweat.
Now we know why.
I know why.
We'd love to get the rain to come in now.
Yeah.
And cool it off. But today has been more patchy. All right. So because of that and a southwest wind, we don't have our ocean breeze to help cool us off today. If you've got a west wind at all, your temperatures can spike, especially in August with sunshine around. So look at that. Fort Lauderdale 93, Pembroke Pines 93, 96, the record breaker in Miami. The record for today 95, set back in 1991. So past that we went. Feels like 106. Southwest breeze is not helping a whole lot at about 10 miles per hour, not taking the edge off much. Here's Hollywood. The beach looks good, though we are reporting rain out of FLL. 92 the temperature there. Here's the heat index. Whoa, 113 in Miami Beach, 102 in Fort Lauderdale. Miami Beach is always several degrees warmer than the surrounding sites, so that's not all that surprising. Hey, if you want to cool things off, you would want to go up to the northeast, where they have this kind of nor'easter type storm system there with a north breeze that's catching some cooler air off of Canada, pulling it down in the highs today there, 73, 64 in Maine. Oh, wouldn't you love that? That would be fantastic, so refreshing. But we're on the hot side of this front, and with that, our temperatures today, of course, went way up. Satellite and radar here, not a lot going on, all right? So we have a couple little clusters, one down here by Homestead, another one that's down in the lower Keys, a third one that just moved off of Hollywood and Aventura, a real small little cell there. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, the computers got it right so far today that this came through sooner. We started to see rain about 1 o'clock, and it was much thinner in coverage than the past few days. And then it gets pushed away, and through the rest of the evening, this is going to be really isolated. It won't pack the intense power that some of the storms did over the past couple of days. So your odds are lower today. But tomorrow, I think it will pick back up again. We still have the setup with the upper low that's to our north, and this is the fuel that can bring heavy rain. That's high moisture, and then you need the spark, and the spark will be there again, and that's where these winds will collide right over the East Coast Metro. So everything's there again tomorrow to bring us rain back, and you know, you may have seen quite a bit already this week. In spots of Broward, we've seen 3 inches plus. If you haven't seen rain yet, you probably want to get some because it's been a dry, rainy season, and we'll tack on another 1, 2, 3 inches in some spots over the next couple of days. So 60% rain chance tomorrow. We will trend lower as we go into Friday and your weekend. You probably like that timing as our weather pattern will shift. We get more of an east wind, and where the storms will want to set up is going to be over by Fort Myers and Naples. And for us, it'll just be patchy morning showers. So weekend plans overall look pretty good, and I don't see another 96. Tomorrow's going to be hot, and our high will depend on when the storms come in. But after that, you get into an ocean breeze. Nah, it won't be that bad. Low 90s, very typical for this time of year. So good news for you, Christy, if you have any more assignments to go out on. I don't see 96 again.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I appreciate it. Oh, well, the future of space. NASA is a step closer to making a historic return to the moon. The Artemis 1 is set to blast off from Cape Canaveral in less than 2 weeks.
Oh, it's an exciting time. Let's look at live pictures. The Artemis 1 will be an unmanned test flight and the first in a series of launches before the main mission in 2026, when NASA hopes to land a crew on the moon for the first time in more than 50 years. That'll be an exciting time. And yesterday, NASA took what it calls the first 4 miles to the moon, rolling out the 322-foot-tall mega rocket at the Kennedy Space Center. Now, it was delayed a bit due to bad weather, but eventually made its way down to the launch pad.
And coming up, a story that really has the internet, well, abuzz.
Oh boy, a Canadian leader swallowed a bee during a press event.
Ugh.
The unbelievable video in today's 3 Must-Sees.
That's disgusting. Well, let's take a look back at some of your school pictures. Here is Brianna before her first day of 4th grade, striking a pose there, looking good.
Hey, take a look at little JJ. He is heading to pre-K, and he's looking really cool while he's doing it. And Daniel, hi Daniel, so excited for his first day of pre-K as well. Look at those smiles.
My kids were crying on their way to pre-K.
They were happy. Well, you can send in photos of your kids. We love these back-to-school photos. Please keep sharing them with us. Just send them over to share@local10.com.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related photos or video. The power to know weather conditions anywhere. And it's completely free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search
In your must-see stories today, Australia's deepest cave, plus a James Bond corn maze in Illinois.
And a Canadian lawmaker's awkward moment with a bee. Here are 3 stories you have to see to believe.
Let's start things off with a group of caving enthusiasts just discovering Australia's deepest known cave. The all-volunteer group called the Southern Tasmanian Caveners mapped and measured the cave, I didn't know there was a thing, at more than 1,300 feet. The cave has been nicknamed the Delta variant, part of the group's COVID naming theme during their explorations. They have a good sense of humor, those cavers.
So scary, though. Oof. All right. Well, another must-see today, a James Bond-themed corn maze. Look at that. This is all open and set in Illinois. The Richardson Adventure Farm in Spring Grove created this massive corn maze in honor of the iconic book and movie character. That is just fantastic. People will be allowed to start exploring the acres-long corn maze as soon as this fall, but seeing it from this vantage point is kind of the coolest way to see it. Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Very much.
It's coming from the health sector. Holy Christ. I just swallowed a bee. Holy Christ. I knew that little bugger.
Ooh, a Canadian lawmaker speaking at a news conference when a bee not only started buzzing around, but made its way right into his mouth. After swallowing the bee, Doug Ford was able to make fun of that awkward moment. Days later, he even showed up with a prop to keep the joke going.
Hold on. There, I finally got him. He's twice the size that he came in at, I'm telling you.
Funny guy. A parody Twitter account called Doug Ford's Bee was created after the moment went viral, and a fellow politician even dressed up as a bee just to tease him.
I don't think I would handle that
Not
as
nearly
graciously.
as well. No.
I'd be screaming, crying.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. And possibly have an upset tummy.
Yeah. Right. Oh my goodness. Well, good for him. All right. Well, that does it for your first cast at 3.
And here's what Louie and I are working on for you starting at 3:30. We continue to follow that traffic alert, a tractor trailer rolling over, how to get around that big mess.
And we're learning much more about the suspects who are connected to the shooting of a Miami-Dade police officer. We are live with what loved ones are now saying.
And a man pulling a grenade at a bar, and it was all caught on camera. Who jumped into action to take him down?
Those stories and so much more coming up on Local 10 News at 3:30.
starts right now.
Right now at 3:30, we continue following that major traffic alert impacting the turnpike.
It is a big mess out there. Let's check in with Janice. How's it looking right now?
Oh, it's still not looking good, you guys. We still got this turnpike, this part of the turnpike shut down. So we want to take you to these pictures from Sky 10. So this is a turnpike northbound between 106th Street and Okeechobee Road. That's where this tractor trailer turned over on its side, blocking all lanes of the turnpike northbound. And unfortunately, traffic has not been able to get through, and we've seen very heavy delays as a result. So let me show you the ground view so you can see what we're dealing with right now. You can see that crews are still on the scene working to get that tractor trailer out of the way. Looks like they're making some success there, but we still have this part of the turnpike shut down, and hopefully we can get that part reopened, but then we're going to see those residual delays. Southbound lanes, you've got onlooker delays too, so just a whole lot of red as I zoom in closer to our maps. Again, turnpike northbound, it is shut down between Northwest 74th Street and Okeechobee Road, so you're not going to be able to get through there, so avoid it altogether. If you're heading southbound on the turnpike, those are your onlooker delays, very slow as well, speeds coming in at 9 miles per hour. So this is what you're going to want to do. Avoid the turnpike altogether, take the Palmetto Expressway or Chrome Avenue instead.
All right, Janice, thank you. Also developing at 3:30, the officer who was shot in Miami continues to fight for his life.
And right now we're learning much more about the suspects who are connected to this shooting. Local 10's Roy Ramos joining us live in Miami Springs, where he spoke with the girlfriend of one of those suspects. Roy, what did she have to say?
Well, she says that the two suspects actually met each other about a week ago over a cigarette, but never did she think that they would be linked to an armed robbery in Dania Beach. One of those men shot and killed in Northwest Miami-Dade. The other, her boyfriend, found and shot and killed right here at this hotel room. Also found in that room was an AK-47. It has now been 3 days since this barrage of bullets rang out in a Northwest Miami-Dade neighborhood during an officer-involved shooting that led to one suspect shot dead and Officer Cesar Echevarri critically injured. But we are now learning more about the suspect and what led up to the shooting. Investigators say it all started here with an armed robbery at this Dania Beach convenience store just after 3:30 Monday afternoon. Sources say that's where 32-year-old Jeremy Horton Jr. and 34-year-old Jaime Robles robbed the clerk at gunpoint before taking off in a white car. That clerk able to snap a picture of the car and call 911. That car spotted by Miami-Dade police near Northwest 7th Avenue and 62nd Street, where Horton was seen running from the vehicle.
The day before yesterday, Jamie lent him the car, okay? The guy said, I'm going to be right back. The guy never came back, and it was 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and now Jamie's saying, I think this guy stole my car.
I spoke with a girlfriend of Robles who said they'd recently met Horton, who was from Georgia.
He came from another state. I got stranded here. I don't have nobody, so we started helping him.
But was unsure where the two were at the time of the armed robbery. Where was he around that time?
He was already coming back home.
Eventually, she said he made it back to this extended stay America when he lent Horton the car, a car that would be involved in the police-involved shooting later Monday night. Tuesday, their hotel room would be surrounded by law enforcement in a shootout where Robles would be shot and killed. And as we come back out live to that hotel, I can tell you that in that picture you saw right there, Robles is with his two small children. That girlfriend told me that those two small children, she believes, were inside of that room at the time of this officer-involved shooting. Fortunately, they were not injured in any of this. As for Horton, we also looked into his criminal history and found that it does date back to 2012. We found charges that include resisting arrest to assault and battery. For now, here in Miami Springs, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
All right, Roy, thank you for that. Only on Local 10, a man tackled outside of a bar yesterday. This happened in Wilton Manors after he reportedly carried a grenade inside. Wilton Manors police now describing that man as emotionally disturbed. And witnesses say that man actually pulled out that grenade right in the middle of the bar, even showing it to some people there. A bartender says the man also claimed to have guns in his car. A former Marine was there as well and then took it upon himself to intervene while police were on the way.
As people started to clear the bar, I used certain intentions to just keep his focus on me while everybody cleared out so that we would be the last ones leaving the bar.
A brave man right there. As soon as Darling had the man outside, he took him to the ground, and that's when police stepped in and took him into custody. The man's identity has not yet been released, but police do say he's been taken to a facility to receive mental health services.
A man facing vehicular homicide charges after a crash in Opelika earlier this month. The crash left one man dead and a pregnant woman seriously hurt. In bond court, prosecutors said the man's license had been suspended because of a cocaine possession conviction. The judge gave him a $150,000 bond plus a total lockdown house arrest. 59-year-old Lázaro Fernandez faces 2 counts of vehicular homicide, one for the passenger who was instantly killed, and the other because the pregnant woman later gave birth to a stillborn because the placenta had been detached. Troopers say Fernandez was speeding west on State Road 9 in a red Ford pickup when he lost control while trying to pass another car, landing airborne in the eastbound lanes and striking the victim's red Chevrolet Cruiser.
And now to a crime alert out of Broward. That's where authorities are now searching for a person who shot a young woman. Deputies say 911 calls began pouring in early Sunday morning after the shooting near North Cypress Road and Copans Road. This is about the same time the Broward Sheriff's Office says they got 2 shot spotter activations. Moments later, they got another 911 call from the victim herself. She was 20-year-old Anisha Donjoy, and she was driving herself to Broward Health North after she was shot. But she crashed into a tree on the hospital's property.
Okay, how many shots did you hear?
Well, boom, 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 boom. There were shots fired outside my house.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I'm sitting at home, and there was a volley of gunshots on Copans and Leisure Boulevard.
Sadly, Donjoy was pronounced dead. Police spent hours on the scene looking for evidence, trying to figure out who pulled the trigger. If you perhaps know something that could help, do call Broward Sheriff's Office right away.
Police responding to a shooting last night in Miami Gardens. A man was found along Northwest 2nd Avenue suffering from a gunshot wound before fire rescue airlifted him to a hospital. At this time, no information on the suspect. The investigation continues. And Homeland Security announcing a crackdown on guns. It follows a recent increase in smuggling to Haiti. Local 10's Cody Weddle live in Doral with details on this. Cody.
Yeah, Louis, we got a close-up view today at the kinds of weapons that Homeland Security investigation is confiscating en route from South Florida to Haiti. Take a look. We saw sniper rifles. We saw other semi-automatic rifles, even an AK-47. And we heard from federal officials from the HSI, also from the Customs and Border Protection and the Coast Guard, announcing new resources and a new focus on stopping the trafficking of these weapons out of the United States and to Caribbean nations, mainly to Haiti. And so how do these weapons get down to Haiti? Well, officials say they're often concealed in other shipments, so they may be buried in a large container with other items. Authorities here emphasizing they will beef up inspections and investigations starting today.
Today, we want it made very clear that the United States, and in particular South Florida, is not open for business regarding the illegal trafficking of weapons. We will investigate and prosecute anyone at any level found to be involved.
And this comes, of course, as we mark the 1-year anniversary of the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, and authorities here believe that situation is partly to blame for this increase in weapons smuggling to Haiti. They have set up a tip line. If you have any information about weapons smuggling, you can call them at 866-347-2423. We're reporting this in Doral. I'm Cody Weddle, Local 10 News.
All right, Cody, thank you for that. And only right here on Local 10, a multi-million-dollar truck heist is under investigation. Police say $11 million worth of cell phones were stolen from a truck heading to Miami. This happened August 14th when the driver stopped at a rest stop in Tampa. The cab was later recovered in Hallandale Beach, but the trailer was nowhere to be found. The company, PCS Wireless, is now offering a $100,000 reward for information that leads to their devices and to a suspect.
Now to a crime alert. Medley police looking for a car and 2 suspects involved in a laptop robbery over the weekend. Take a look at your screen right here. Police say the suspects fled in a black Hyundai Elantra after posing as buyers for an online laptop deal. Medley police are asking for help in finding these suspects, who was last seen, one of them in a black shorts and a blue hoodie. The other is seen in the dark pants and a brown hoodie. If you have any information on these guys, call police.
A fire is under investigation after flames sparked on a 60-foot motor yacht docked at the Lauderdale Yacht Club. You can see firefighters working to put on that little blaze right there. Now, no injuries reported from the scene. Crews do suspect an electrical problem is likely to blame for this one.
A whole lot of coke was found off the Florida Keys. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says a large bale of cocaine was found near Isla Mirada Tuesday. The bale contained 70 pounds of cocaine that was wrapped in smaller packages and labeled with a sticker that read 100%. The drugs would be worth more than $1 million had they made it to the streets.
And coming up here on Local 10 News at 4 o'clock, the death penalty trial continues.
What the Parkland school shooter's defense attorney does not want to show jurors, that's coming up in our next hour of news.
But first, a restaurant owner turned Gator wrangler after this big guy shows up on his driveway. How he put his fighting skills to work right after the break.
Stories making headlines, up-to-the-minute weather updates, and breaking news as it's happening. So go to Facebook, click like on Local 10 News, and show your love.
The family of Tyree Sampson, the teen who fell to his death on an Orlando freefall ride, released balloons to honor Tyree on his 15th birthday. The family also holding a news conference with their attorney, Ben Crump, to update media on the case. Tyree was visiting Icon Park in March when he was caught on video falling off the ride. His family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the theme park and the ride manufacturer following his death. They also want that ride to be taken down so that it can be replaced with a memorial for their son.
Right now, a 12-year-old Little League World Series player from Utah is in critical condition after a serious accident. The child's family says he fell 6 feet off a bunk bed Sunday night while staying with his team in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series. Easton, who is the Snow Canyon team's leader left fielder, was rushed to the hospital with a skull fracture. He's undergoing surgery to reduce swelling on his brain. His family says he is communicating. The coaches say they want the young ball players to carry on and will go all the way while the Little Leaguer recovers from his fall.
He made it a point to say, you know, we want you guys to focus on the baseball part and not worry too much about Easton when we're doing that. But yeah, to continue on why we're here and keep the baseball going. Talked about that with the kids, about bending and not breaking. And resiliency is one word to describe these guys.
Well, the team plays Friday and will practice every day until then while they cheer on Easton in his recovery. Easton and his family will also cheer on the team. The zoo in Canada remains closed after a pack of wolves escaped their habitat. Vancouver zoo officials say it appears somebody unlawfully entered the zoo and set the animals free on purpose. A small number of them are reportedly still missing. However, the zoo says the wolves do not pose a danger to the public.
A Texas dad, a restaurant owner, and jiu-jitsu fighter is adding another notch to his belt alligator wrangler. His name is Mike Tren, and he says he was getting the kids ready for their first day of school yesterday when a 5 to 6 foot long gator showed up on his driveway. Tren says he got one look at that guy and figured he would use some of his skills he learned from the crocodile hunter to take the gator down. So the dad threw towels over its eye to calm the gator down and then went in for the catch.
I took a sledgehammer. I didn't hit it though, but I took a pin in the mouth. Once I got closer, I put my knee on it, and kind of like you got knee on belly. I had knee on it and spin to the back, sit in the back, and I just grabbed the mouth. Once you grab the mouth, and that's it. That's just done.
Okay, well, instead of waiting on the game warden or a nuisance control hunter, Trin used his own truck to release the gator back into a nearby creek.
That gator was not anticipating his jiu-jitsu moves. Probably the first time he encountered that.
Exactly.
That's a good skill set, by the way. Okay.
Well, right now let's look outside. Yeah, you need to take that up just in case you encounter a gator sometime.
So that does not tell the picture of what's going on outside, by the way, because it is HOT hot.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about it later on today, and Don't Trash Our Treasure, this extreme heat that the planet is bracing for right now. It's no joke. Hi, Luke.
I just went back to the record books, Louis, and there's only been 36 days on record that have been this hot or hotter.
Wow.
It is an exceptionally hot day.
Yep.
Yeah, 96. The record 95. We shot right past that today, and 93 in Fort Lauderdale. So if you didn't hit 96, which is the hottest spot on the map, you were close. 94 in Kendall. Miami, here's the view, and sunshine and a lack of rain compared to what we've had over the past couple days. I'll show you the radar in a second. It's not much, and when you have that southwest wind and you don't have the cooling ocean breeze, that air gets real hot as it travels across the land from southwest Florida to east Florida, and your temperatures go way high. These are our hottest days. That's our hottest wind flow. 91 in Fort Lauderdale and Key West. It's hot 90s all up and down Florida. Wouldn't you love to just leapfrog on the other side of this line of showers where they're in the great 70s? Oh, I could go for that. 79 in Atlanta. Birmingham, 77. That's a stalled out front there. A lot of rain along that as well. For us, the rain much more isolated. All right, so I'll show you where we do have some. That's pushed off of the Homestead area, now in the extreme upper Keys. Little bit of you can see a little green line right there. That is the sea breeze. It's not doing a whole lot today, though. So if it coulda, it woulda done more. So this is going to be the story through the rest of the day, is isolated showers, like we have one that's headed toward North Miami Beach, right there near North Miami. Broward County, you're for the most part dry, little bitty cell there that's traveling toward Coral Springs or so. We'll see if it can hold together. Future radar into the evening, spotty showers. We'll call them patchy. All right, and then there we are by 6, 7 o'clock, maybe one in there, and then we turn dry after we get past sunset. So rain chances here, 30, maybe 40%, and then temperatures in the mid 80s as we go into tonight, and eventually low 80s. Tomorrow, my rain chance is still pretty high. I think that the atmosphere is just tweaked, slightly different, and enough to where we get some better thunderstorms over the East Coast metro. So your rain chance is going to be higher at 60%, though before they come, it'll be one of those days where it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Before 2 o'clock, we'll still be able to make a run toward 93. So here's your rain chances for tomorrow. Morning dry. It's the evening. It's the afternoon and evening commute home where we pop it up to about 50, 60%. Go into the weekend, though, you see this area of low pressure. The jet stream lifts out. We replace that with high pressure. If you have plans this weekend to be outside and you're thinking, I don't want to deal with the afternoon thunderstorms, then you like this pattern, because that means a few morning showers and then a lot of sunshine for the rest of the day. And you'll see rain chances drop off quite a bit. So there you go. We'll cut them in half. 60% Thursday, 30% Friday and into the weekend. Also, another good thing in here, 93 cools down to 90, 91. That's as good as we'll do, but at least it's not 93, 95, 96 degrees. Weekend looks okay. Louis?
We'll take these small victories when we can get them. Thank you, Luke. American Airlines is betting supersonic jets will make a comeback. The company says it put down a deposit for up to 20 supersonic jets with the option to buy 20 more. Boom is developing a jet called the Overture, which will carry up to 80 passengers at nearly twice the speed of today's commercial aircrafts. That means you'll be able to fly from Miami to London in less than 5 hours. That's less than Los Angeles. The fleet of jets are slated for 2025, but the first passenger is not expected to fly until 2029. Airbnb is taking action to cut down on house parties and property damage. The platform is beginning to test new tools that screen people and determine if they are high-risk candidates in the U.S. and Canada. Officials will assess requests by looking at factors like length of stay and past reviews. High-risk users will be prevented from booking entire homes but can still request single rooms.
In your health headlines today, some new studies show that adding salt to your food can shorten your lifespan. Experts say people who frequently add a lot of salt to their meals have greater chances of high blood pressure, heart attacks, and other diseases. Experts say swap out that salt and use spices and herbs instead.
A scare for a superstar, what we've learned about the break-in at Mariah Carey's home. That's next in our Pop Topics.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related.
Rapper A$AP Rocky has been arraigned on felony assault charges. The charges stem from an alleged shooting in California last year. The rapper was charged with 2 counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm with allegations of personally using a firearm. He pled not guilty earlier today. Angelina Jolie has been revealed as a plaintiff in an FBI lawsuit involving Brad Pitt.
The 2016 lawsuit alleges the plaintiff was assaulted by her then-husband on a private plane. After much speculation, it is now being revealed that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were indeed the couple in that anonymous lawsuit. Jolie alleging multiple physical altercations on that flight, but Pitt's team denies it all.
A break-in at Mariah Carey's home in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. Police now investigating after they say the pop star is the latest to fall victim to a string of home burglaries in the Sandy Springs area. Officials have already arrested 4 suspected gang members last month in connection to more than a dozen home invasions of celebrities in the past year.
Actress Zoe Kravitz says she really regrets calling out Will Smith for his Oscars slap. She openly criticized that slap on Instagram. However, Smith's fans reminded her about previous inappropriate comments she allegedly made about Smith's then underage son Jaden. Kravitz says that she wishes she had handled the entire situation much differently.
Now to some new drama for Kanye. He's being called out for his new Yeezy Gap collection being sold out of trash bags. These images have gone viral online, showing bunched up piles of his clothing stuffed into giant black bags. This is a store display the rapper chose for the collection. He said no hangers allowed. The internet is slamming Kanye. Some fans saying that looking for their size in those piles feels like dumpster diving. No word on whether the rapper plans to make a change following the negative feedback. Not just that, but all that plastic, dude. Wrong thinking, wrong thinking, wrong thinking.
Okay, yeah, I think you made your point.
Yes.
Good job. All right, Melissa Etheridge is starring in a new theatrical solo show. It's called My Window, A Journey Through Life. The Grammy and Academy Award-winning artist will take to the stage to tell stories about her childhood in Kansas and her career. Etheridge, of course, was very popular in the 1990s. A lot of hits, including I'm the Only One, Come to My Window, and I Want to Come Over. The show begins October 13th and has a 3-week run.
Solange Knowles is stepping into a new music venture. The Grammy Award-winning singer posted on Instagram Tuesday that she is writing the score for a New York City ballet production. The 36-year-old, who's Beyonce's little sister, says the City Ballet Orchestra will perform her original score along with a soloist from her ensemble. Solange's work is set to premiere at the ballet's Fall Fashion Gala September 28th in honor of Sarah Jessica Parker, who will serve as the ballet's vice chair. How about that?
That's a star-studded group right there.
She's going to be a long way from that elevator situation.
I remember that.
All
right,
okay.
she's still ahead. On Local 10 News right here at 4, it is back-to-school day for Miami-Dade kids finishing up their first day in the new school year. We have a live report from the superintendent in our next hour of news. Some exciting news out of California. That's where this young man, a Crenshaw Arts Tech Charter School student, Jaden Hunter, is graduating top of his class. He has a 4.7 GPA. But get this, he has 39 acceptance letters and more than $3 million in scholarships. At 18 years old, he says he's heading off to Berkeley to study mechanical engineering. Hunter would like one day to work at NASA or SpaceX. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Congratulations. And that's it for your news here at 3:30. Calvin and Nicole have your news at 4.
Okay, Christy, thanks a lot. Now at 4 o'clock, a major traffic alert for Turnpike travelers. Northbound lane shut down after a semi overturned.
2 days after being shot, a Miami-Dade police officer remains in critical condition. We're live with an update in the investigation.
Miami-Dade students headed back to class. The first day of school is in the books. We'll show you how it went.
First on 10, a man pulling out a grenade inside a South Florida bar. Who jumped into action to take him down?
Scare on campus today. An umbrella mistaken for a rifle. Police swarming Miami-Dade College Kendall campus.
A bill being introduced in Florida after the death of Tyree Sampson. How officials hope to prevent another fatal fall from a ride. The news starts now.
And let's begin with two major traffic alerts today. The first is in northwest Miami-Dade. Northbound lanes of the turnpike are shut down.
And Sky 10 is live over the scene at Northwest 106th Street, a semi overturning in the middle of the roadway. We are watching another traffic alert on I-95 in Dania Beach. All southbound lanes are blocked there at Griffin Road because of a deadly crash.
And Janice is watching both of those incidents for us and is here now with an update. Janice.
Yeah, it is a busy afternoon out on the roadways. So let's go one by one. Let's start with the turnpike in northwest Miami-Dade. You are looking live from the ground at our traffic cameras here. This is as you're heading northbound on the turnpike. It is still shut down between Northwest 74th Street and Okeechobee Road. They have been able to get that truck in an upright position, but you can see there's still a lot of debris out in the roadway, some spillage that they're working to clean up. And then hopefully we can see these lanes reopen very soon. As you can imagine, it is causing big backups. That other incident I'm watching, I-95 southbound. This is going to be Griffin Road. This view, though, is your view from Davie Boulevard, and you can see traffic is backed up as they are starting to approach that area where the lanes are closed right at Griffin Road, including the express lanes, all because of a crash there. So let's take you to the maps, show you that real-time data to show you exactly how slow traffic is moving at this time. Turnpike northbound, again, closed between 74th Street and Okeechobee Road. You're not going to see any activity there. It has been closed for about 3 hours now, and if you're heading southbound, you're going to deal with those onlooker delays. Those are coming in at 12 miles per hour. So you've got a couple alternates here. You could take the Palmetto Expressway or Chrome Avenue instead. Now, as I take you to I-95 in Broward County, talking about this other traffic alert I am watching. This is I-95 southbound at Griffin Road. Again, we've got this area blocked off here because of a crash. And look at those speeds on the approach. Very slow, coming in at just 9 miles per hour. Take your alternate, US 441.
Okay, thanks a lot, Janice. And right now, a Miami-Dade police officer remains in the hospital 2 days after he was shot while pursuing a robbery suspect. Cesar Echeverry, known as Etche, is in extremely critical condition.
The suspect was shot and killed by police on the scene. An investigation into that shooting is now underway. Local 10's Glenna Milberg is live in Miami with the latest developments. Glenna.
And the lead on that investigation is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, State Police. They're the lead because that's standard operating procedure when Miami-Dade's department has a police-involved shooting. That is underway as we speak. Here, the department's attention and their focus is with the family, is with the detective, willing him to pull through.
I know his smile. I know his heart.
Top brass know Cesar Echeverry. His robbery intervention detail works out of headquarters.
I know as a father what it feels like to see a young man like that injured in that fashion in such a violent way.
Photos of the 29-year-old detective show him as son, brother, fiancé, FIU grad, lover of bikes, of baseball, and his talents at that. The images from Monday night show him immersed in his job, chasing an escaping criminal, no hesitation. And then the gunfire, lasting 6 seconds, at least 3 dozen shots. And then his colleagues whisking him to Jackson.
I call upon our entire community to uplift him and his family in your prayers.
A constant flow of officers and supporters are keeping vigil with the family here. And we have confirmed today that the FDLE investigation is now underway. First up, among the first things, a forensic review of that shooting. Which bullet came from which gun and when? It will be a painstaking process, part of the process. I'm Glenna Milberg, live at Jackson today, Local 10 News.
Difficult days, as the director talked about yesterday. Glenna, thanks a lot.
Well, day one is in the books for students in Miami-Dade County. Today was the first day back to class, and just like Broward, there are some changes this year. Local 10's Hatzel Vela is live to tell us how it went. Hatzel.
So Nicole, the superintendent wrapped up his day here at this transportation center because he wanted to give you a sense of how many people it takes to make this happen, including all the bus drivers. More than 700 routes we're talking about. Today, he described the first day as smooth. Quite the welcome at Hialeah Gardens Senior High. From Sky 10, you can see hundreds of students returning to the classroom on this first day of school here in Miami-Dade County, the nation's 4th largest school district. Hialeah Gardens was one of the first stops for Superintendent Jose Dotres, who tells us this year it's all about stability, a chance for students and teachers to reconnect after the pandemic disrupted the educational lives of millions across the country.
We've shown a lot of recovery in the academic progress.
However, we have to pay attention to proficiency levels. And some of the students, we still have to accelerate learning to catch them up.
Earlier, we visited Comstock Elementary in Miami.
Okay, have your pencils ready? Show me your pencil.
This is Miss Quintana's third grade reading class.
My class is special because they are English language learners and newcomers to the country.
And because they're young English learners, the teacher prefers them to be in the classroom where they can get that one-on-one experience.
They're very conscious about their accents, so it's hard in the beginning, but then they grow out of that shell.
The superintendent tells us they're focusing on 4 areas primarily impacted: high-level math, science, special education, and high school language arts. And so another challenge we're seeing, not just here in Miami-Dade, but across the country, is teacher vacancies. For example, here in Miami-Dade, we're looking at about 260 teacher vacancies. So the district has moved a couple teachers back into the classroom from the district level. Again, that is another challenging that we're seeing, not just here, but also in Broward County. So for now, reporting live from Northwest Miami-Dade, I'm Hatsafala, Local 10 News.
Thanks a lot. Police arresting a man for vehicular homicide after they say he caused a crash in Opa-locka that left a man dead and a pregnant woman seriously injured. That woman ended up losing her baby. Lazaro Fernandez appearing in court today. He was given a $150,000 bond and house arrest. His license was also suspended. The police say the 59-year-old was speeding down State Road 9 when he tried to pass another vehicle inside the shoulder. He lost control, hitting the bushes, going airborne, and then slamming into the victim's car. The passenger, Elias Rodriguez, was killed instantly. Rudy Giuliani testifying before a special grand jury in Georgia today.
It comes after he was informed that he's considered a target of the criminal investigation focused on former President Trump's efforts to overturn the election in Georgia. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy is live in Washington with Ben.
Calvin, Nicole, Rudy Giuliani appeared confident walking into court, but stopped short of talking about what questions he might face, saying he won't discuss it until it is over.
They ask the questions and we'll see.
Former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani arrived at the Fulton County Courthouse Wednesday. It's there he testified before a grand jury.
Do you believe President Trump is the ultimate target of this investigation?
I'm not going to comment on the grand jury investigation.
It comes 2 days after Giuliani was told he is considered a target of a criminal investigation after he pushed now disproven claims of election fraud. As lawmakers investigate then President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 results in Georgia, which has been a focus of the House Select Committee investigating the attack on January 6. But they'll soon have to move forward without their vice chair after Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney was defeated by Trump-backed opponent Harriet Hageman in the Republican primary election.
She won. I called her to concede the race.
A race she lost due in part to being one of the most outspoken GOP critics of Trump, calling out the big lie and false claims by the 45th president that the election was stolen.
If we do not condemn the conspiracies and the lies, if we do not hold those responsible to account, we will be excusing this conduct.
And it is that conduct by Trump that lawmakers are investigating. Also today, we did learn that former Vice President Mike Pence said he would consider testifying if lawmakers did ask him. I'll have his remarks coming up at 5. Reporting live in Washington, D.C., Ben Kennedy, Local 10 News.
Okay, Ben, thank you. Nicholas Cruz was back in court today. As we learned, defense attorneys will not show jurors images of the school shooter's brain scan. Initially, they wanted to present it as evidence, but then they backed out. Local 10's Christina Vasquez is live with an update from court today. Christina.
And today's brief hearing did give the court an opportunity to check in on the status of several pending motions. All of this happening this week before jurors are set and expected back on Monday for the start of the defense's case presentation.
We're not relying on those the specific things outlined in the state's Daubert.
This was the week it was anticipated both sides would litigate brain mapping technology the defense wanted to present to jurors, but the state objected to. But the related hearing no longer needed because the defense told the court it will not be relying on those types of scans. Meantime, tomorrow, the court is expected to hear arguments related to a filing by the Parkland shooter's brother, Zachary Cruz, and Richard Moore, the man he is residing with in Virginia.
Zach moved in with my family after the shooting.
The pair are defense witnesses and expressed frustration with the state's deposition in a court filing, claiming some questions are not appropriate and that they object to the scope of the questions at issue based on unreasonable burden. Prosecutors disagree, telling the court in its filed response, not one question or statement by the state in the deposition of either witness was offensive in any way, shape, or form. They have asked the court to compel them to answer. You may remember more flew in from Virginia just as jury selection got underway with private security in tow.
Just because supporting the defendant in this case is not a popular thing to do.
Saying at the time he was here to support the Parkland shooter.
Not condone what he did, but nobody should face this alone.
And their attorney also expected when a hearing related to this issue is heard tomorrow at 9 a.m. Reporting live for you, I'm Christina Vasquez, Local 10 News.
Okay, Christina, and you can watch live coverage of this trial from gavel to gavel every day on local10.com, our social media pages, and the Local 10 Plus app on your smart TV.
Okay, so we're halfway through August, and the tropics are relatively quiet.
Chief Certified Meteorologist Betty Davis is here with your tropical update.
Hi, guys. All things considered, it is quiet. At this point in the month, we would have seen that first hurricane over the Atlantic Basin or even the fourth named storm, and we've had neither. So far this season, 3 named storms. Not that we're complaining about that. All that said, though, there is a tropical wave over the Northwest Caribbean Sea that we'll be watching for the rest of the week. It's in the vicinity of Belize. Some shower thunderstorm activity associated with it, but clearly it's not an organized system. We'll be tracking it tomorrow, next day, and the next. National Hurricane Center showing a 30% chance of development over the next 5 days. So while it's interacting with land, we would not expect anything to come of it. But once it gets over into the Bay of Campeche, over toward the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, we'll see what happens. The steering flow is with high pressure, keeping it far removed from South Florida. So as it makes its way across Central America and over toward the southwestern Gulf, we will not have to worry about it. Once it hits those warm waters, though, we'll see if it starts to organize. That ridge pushing it west, keeping it away from us. I'll be back in a little while with a lot more on our weather right here at home for the rest of the week. Nicole?
Okay, thank you, Betty. Still ahead, new details following the arrest of South Florida rapper Stitches.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, Local 10 getting a look at the body camera footage from the rapper's arrest on drugs and weapons charges. We'll show you coming up at 5 o'clock.
And at 4:30, tackled to the ground. A man taken down after witnesses say he brought a grenade into a South Florida bar.
But first, taking action months after the death of a teenager on an Orlando ride. Find out about the new bill that's being introduced next.
And we continue following this major traffic breaking news on the Turnpike. Northbound lanes are still shut down on Northwest 106th Street after this semi-truck overturned. It is now upright, but the lanes are still closed, so the Palmetto is your alternate there. 95 southbound at Griffin Road is also closed, so you'll want to avoid 95 in that area. Take 441 as your alternate. Janice will have all of this for you in her next traffic report. We'll be right back.
Be an authority on weather with the new Local 10 Weather Authority app. Live interactive radar, live streaming forecasts, futurecast, lightning tracker, and more. Activate weather alerts and select weather from unlimited locations. Drop pins of weather-related photos or video. The power to know weather conditions anywhere. And it's completely free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search Like us. LOL. You're going to love us. Follow Local 10 News on Facebook. You'll get the hottest videos going viral, the top stories making headlines, up-to-the-minute weather updates, and breaking news as it's happening. So go to Facebook, click like on Local 10 News, and show your love.
Okay, we want to go back to this breaking news, this traffic news for you. This is I-95 right at Griffin Road. We've been following this accident that has all lanes closed. You can see that yellow tarp in the middle of your screen, so we know that this is a fatal crash. Again, 95 southbound right at Griffin Road. You can see the troopers on scene. All lanes are blocked, even the express lane. So if you are heading out or know somebody that's out in this area, you're definitely going to want to tell them to avoid it. They're diverting traffic off on Griffin Road. That's some of the backup you'll be dealing with right now. It is 4:15, so you know it's going to start to get a lot worse. 95 southbound at Griffin Road, avoid it. They're diverting off to Griffin Road. Your alternate in this case is going to be 441. We'll keep following this and bring you any more developments as soon as the highway reopens.
Well, today, family members marking what would have been Tyree Simpson's 15th birthday. The teen died in Orlando after falling from the drop tower ride at Icon Park. He slipped out of his seat about halfway down the freefall ride.
It happened back in March, and today leaders revealing how they plan to take action. Eden's in the newsroom with you.
Nicole Calvin, State Representative Geraldine Thompson announcing today that she's filing the Tyree Sampson bill in an effort to make sure something like this never happens again. She's pushing for proper inspections, training, and signage at all rides. She says the purpose of the bill is to honor Sampson and protect other young people.
The things that happened here were out of the ordinary. Seats being adjusted after inspection, after a permit, that was out of the ordinary.
The autopsy report revealed Sampson weighed nearly 100 pounds over the weight limit for that ride. The investigation found a manual adjustment was made to the seat so he could fit. His father calling for the ride to be torn down and honoring his son on what would have been his 15th birthday.
My son was a special young man. He was a bright young man, had a bright potentials and a bright future. He was a 4.0 honor student. I'm going to continue saying that because it was the truth. How would you feel if you send your kid to vacation, they're going to have fun, next thing you know, they don't come home?
Well, a lawsuit was filed in April against the ride manufacturer in Icon Park, which leased the space. Nicole?
Such an awful accident. Just horrible. Thank you, Eden. Right now, let's take a live look out of our Pembroke Park power camera so we can get you your forecast. Look at that Guitar Hotel shining there in the background.
Yes, hot enough for you out there?
Right?
Let's check it out with our Betty Davis from Hawaii. Betty.
Hey guys, you wouldn't even know that we hit a record today with our high temperature. We did 96 officially at MIA, that bests the old record for the date of 95 set back in 1991. And when you factor in the humidity, it is still feeling like 105 degrees out there. West winds at 12 miles per hour, blazing sunshines, and the temperatures had no problem soaring this afternoon. With the daytime heating, some showers and storms starting to develop. Right now, things aren't looking quite the way they looked yesterday afternoon or the day before, but we do have some rain on the radar, including a little thunder shower action near Homestead, some showers collapsing out near Boca Chica Key. I'll keep an eye out right around Broward County, Weston, Sunrise, Miramar. Notice this outflow boundary here. A few showers starting to spark up around the Weston area. We'll see how much more that fills in. So there still is time for us to catch some more rainfall out there. If not, get a thunderstorm going in a few spots. And speaking of thunderstorms, we're looking at one as it impacts areas from Aventura down towards Surfside and Miami Beach, more north of downtown Miami, bringing some rainfall. So between now and 6 p.m., spotty storms. 8 o'clock tonight, sun will be going down, and once that happens, we're not planning on much rain in the area, but we won't rule out a leftover shower. Partly cloudy to mainly clear skies through the overnight hours. Winds from the west-southwest around 5 miles per hour. So light winds, kind of muggy out again tonight with low temperatures in the upper 70s. Cold front stalled across the southeast. We know we are not going to be the recipients of refreshing air behind that front. That's just not going to be happening for us. And we are also spotlighting this tropical wave down around the northwest Caribbean Sea. We'll see if that manages to organize once it gets over toward the southwestern Gulf later on this week, but it's not a system we need to be concerned about. We essentially have to wait for a change in our winds. We've been locked in that westerly wind flow, which is driving our temperatures into the 90s each day, and also all of that heat and humidity on top of us is a driver for the convective type storms each afternoon. But to wind down the week, easterly wind flow is going to come back in place, and that makes the difference for how we get our rains and where the storms are going to favor. So tomorrow, west winds, think East Coast storms. By Friday, Saturday, think easterly component to the winds and storms that favor the interior and the west side of the peninsula. Rain chances, the plan still is to bring them lower for the weekend, also to start to bring the temperatures down a little bit too. We'll be right back.
Like us, LOL. You're going to love us. Follow Local 10 News on Facebook. You'll get the hottest videos going viral, the top stories making headlines, up-to-the-minute weather updates, and breaking news as it's happening. So go to Facebook, click like on Local 10 News, and show your love. 10 Sports with Will Manso.
Can you believe it? The Heat will be back in action before you know it. The NBA releasing the team's schedule less than an hour ago. For the Heat, the motivation's simple. Remember, they were one shot away from the NBA Finals. They want to get that payback against Boston and then get a chance for that championship. So here are some of the key dates from that schedule. The Heat open up with 4 straight home games. Opening night is October 19th against Chicago. Then they get that rematch a couple of nights later against Boston at the FTX Arena. The NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors, by the way, come to town November 1st. The Heat will play the San Antonio Spurs in Mexico City. That is on December 17th. LeBron James and the Lakers are here December 28th. And the Heat finish the season April 9th against the Magic. These are just some of the dates. You can see the full 82-game schedule on Local10.com. Star-studded day at Dolphins practice. Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra paying a visit, checking out the action. Also, YouTube sensation and boxer Jake Paul getting in the action, going for the deep ball. Oh, stick to boxing. He drops it. It's all right. Big question, though, around camp is, will the starters get a chance to play on Saturday night against the Raiders? Mike McDaniel was non-committal about Tua Tagovailoa. Tua today said, though, he wants to be out there.
Man, I always want to play. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to play last week, too, at least a couple snaps. But Mike decided that, then wasn't the time. So hopefully he gives, the first offense an opportunity to go out there, hopefully get some plays in, understand some situations, knowing how to manage the game, and kind of get back into the groove of things, in that sense, where we have no coaches on the field. We have no one to really line us up. We just figure out things on our own when we're out there playing.
We shall see on Saturday night. And that is a look at sports.
Okay, we're looking forward to seeing that first team out there. My gosh.
That'll be nice.
Cheetah, yeah.
Get a taste of it. See what it's like.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Thanks a lot there, Will.
All right, that'll do it for the news at 4.
Here's what we're working on for you at the bottom of the hour right now. First on Local 10, a man taken to the ground outside of a bar. It was all caught on camera. We're hearing from witnesses who say the suspect had a grenade on him.
Breaking traffic news, a crash shutting down northbound lanes of the Turnpike at Northwest 106th Street after a semi-truck overturned. You definitely want to avoid this area.
And another traffic mess on I-95 today. Southbound lanes at Griffin Road are shut down after a deadly crash.
Janice is following both of these incidents. She joins us next on Local 10 News at 4:30.
Free. Download or update the Local 10 Weather Authority app now. Search